Russia takes censorship to new extremes, stifling war coverage. Let's see, Russia clamped down harder Friday on news and free speech than at any time in President Vladimir Putin's 22 years in power, blocked access to Facebook and major foreign news outlets, and enacted a law to punish anyone spreading false information about its Ukraine invasion with up to 15 years in prison. The crackdown comes as the Kremlin scrambles to contain discontent over the war and to control the narrative as Russia faces its most severe economic crisis in decades as a result of this week's crushing Western sanctions. Fearing prosecution, more independent Russian news outlets shut down on Friday, and the BBC said it had suspended all of its operations in Russia. Mr. Putin signed a law that effectively criminalizes any public opposition to any independent news reporting about the war against Ukraine, taking effect as soon as Saturday. That's today. The law could make it a crime to simply call the war a war. It sounds like that novel. Remember 1984? Yeah, 1984. You call a war. You can't call a war a war. That comes right out of 1984. Yeah, the Kremlin says it's a special military operation. Yeah. On social media or in a news article or broadcast, announcements that the law was coming had already pushed Russian independent media outlets to shut down in recent days, and more followed on Friday. In addition, the government blocked access inside Russia to the websites of major Russian language outlets that are based outside the country, and to Facebook, the social network popular with the westward-looking urban middle class, where many have posted fierce criticism of Mr. Putin's war. Facebook, Russia's internet regulator, claimed had engaged in discrimination against Russian news media by limiting access to pro-Kremlin accounts, including that of the Defense Ministry's television channel. The decision was a blow to internet freedom in Russia, where Western social networks have remained accessible despite Mr. Putin's creeping authoritarianism. Well, Facebook shut it down because what it is propaganda and lies. You know? That's why it was shut down. I mean, really, it's not discrimination. It's because when you post something in Facebook, they have certain rules that you gotta abide by and you have to agree to, and you can't be posting or actually publishing something that you know is false. And since Russia, they live in George Orwell's world of 1984, where certain words are not what they mean anymore. That's what that amounts to. Yeah. George Orwell's. Anybody never heard of George Orwell's 1984? You should pick up a copy and read it, because this is exactly what George Orwell was talking about. You see? So, they claim false information people will be persecuted or prosecuted for false information, when in fact they're the ones who publishing false information. But when you publish the truth, it's called false information. You see? So there's a lot in this article I'm not even gonna get into. But the side commentary is that there's really no freedom of speech in Russia. The independent media are shut down, and the parliament there, whatever they call them, the Politburo, whatever they call themselves, they go along with whatever Putin wants. There's really no rule of law there, none whatsoever. You know, you look at some countries like South Korea. They had like a female president a few years ago. She was president one day, she was arrested the next day during prison time, right? Even France, Sarkozy. Remember Sarkozy? Sarkozy went in trial for some kind of corruption. I think he's under house arrest, but the point is, you know, they have rule of law in France and in South Korea. Here in America, we claim to have rule of law, but you have like Donald Trump, who is a fan of Putin, who clearly broke the law on several fronts, and he hasn't been prosecuted as yet. You know, most likely because I guess in this country they don't want to give the impression that this is a banana republic where, you know, you go after your opponents or what have you, you know. Because that's how it works in some countries, like Nicaragua, for example. They go after the opposition and lock them up. But no, that's not the case with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is clearly a criminal who belongs in prison. And what I find really annoying is that they keep talking about him running for the presidency in 2024. Yeah. Here's a man that everybody in their right mind knows is a criminal, and yet people still keep talking about, is he going to run in 2024? No, the only thing he should be running for is some kind of, I don't know, maybe leader in a prison, in the United States federal prison. That's where he belongs. Not in the White House. Definitely not in the Oval Office.